Okay, so South Africa have lost the series at the third ODI, and we are going to be reflecting on what we learned from this ODI series. It was 78 run defeat. It was quite a dominating performance by India once again. A different team with a couple of new faces thrown into the mix. And South Africa chasing in this game ended up losing, of course. So we sitting here again with another situation where we're talking about a chase and we're talking about a defeat. It is definitely something that South Africa needs to work on. I don't know what has happened because South Africa were quite famous in the past for chasing decently in previous games and previous years. But something has come over us in recent times where we've struggled to chase. And I know a lot of us are going to be upset. I mean, I'm disappointed, um, but I'm not necessarily upset. And I'll tell you why on the show a little bit later. But before we get going, before we get started, there's a couple of things I'd like you guys to please do. First and foremost, subscribe if you're new. Click that notification bell for all future videos. We are en route to our 5,000 subscribers. We don't need many to get there. I want to try and get there, guys, as soon as possible. So please help me reach that next milestone. We are growing pretty quickly. It was stagnant for a while, and it's picked up quite nicely over the last couple of months. So please help us reach that 5K. I'd also like you guys to please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Subscribe. It's 100% free. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. And we've also launched something very exciting that I want you guys to please get involved in. We have launched the Cricket Fanatics magazine Business Corner. We've set up the Business Corner to help you market your business, products, services effectively and affordably to a cricket audience. So please get involved with us. If you know any entrepreneurs, if you know any businesses, send them to this page. The link is in the description right now. And it will tell you everything that you need to know about Cricket Fanatics Business Corner, and we can start setting up a meeting and a discussion and start that conversation going to help you guys, help businesses, help entrepreneurs market to a cricket audience effectively and affordably. We are the only viable option for you guys to do so if you're looking to promote to cricket. So please get involved right away. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I'm not really looking forward to chatting to you guys about this one from a results perspective, but I'm excited to talk to you guys about what my views are and what we learned from this particular series. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host, Khalid Moeddin. This is the show where we talk about the series defeat between South Africa and India. The third ODI obviously was lost by South Africa. But if you guys did not watch the game and you weren't available to watch the game, let me give you some insight into what actually happened. So first and foremost, Captain Aiden Markham lost the toss, and he decided, funny enough, he decided to bowl first in the Paul heat. We knew that the weather was going to be about 33 degrees and probably and reach a low of 28 throughout the day, 25, 26 throughout the day. And it was going to be a really tough place to start your bowling and your fielding innings. And when the weather is this hot and when the conditions are like this, we saw it plenty of times in the World Cup. In hot conditions, teams have suffered bowling first, especially when the opposition bats well, gets runs on the board. You toil in the field, get tired, you get fatigued. You come into bat and you don't bat with the same impetus. Now, Aiden did say in his in his pre-match interview that he wanted to test our chasing ability and put us under a little bit of pressure. So it does seem that that was a strategy by the coach, strategy by the captain to try and put our chasing to the test. And South Africa's chasing was put to the test. Um, let's start with the bowling. India scored 296 for 8. And it's something I'm not very happy about because the same bowling attack that really bowled with accuracy and consistency in in the second ODI, it was an unchanged lineup, so they bowled again. And we got a good start. India were 2 wickets down for 49 runs, and Nande Berger and Bjorn Hendricks were back in the wickets again. And at this particular time, we thought, okay, cool. Sai is out, and he was really good in the previous in the series so far. We have now an opportunity to really get stuck in and really take the batters on. But again, we didn't bowl consistently enough. If you look at the heat map, basically, or where the balls were pitched, it was a lot of balls all over the show. We were trying to, I feel, force India into making mistakes rather than by changing things up and trying to confuse rather than sticking to good lines and lengths again, putting it in those dangerous areas consistently and testing the opposition batters. We failed to do that again. On top of that, there was 15 wides in this match, one no ball, 5 leg byes, and 1 bye. So 22 runs in extras again that we conceded. Let's not take away anything from Sanju Samson, who was phenomenal with his 108 of 114 balls at a strike rate of 94.73. He was fantastic today. He got the right support as well from Tilak and from Rinku Singh as well. But it was a Sanju Samson show today. 100% definitely was. Rinku Singh didn't actually help Sanju too much because, I mean, he stuck around for quite some time with him. But it was a Sanju Samson show ultimately, and he was fantastic today with 6 fours and 3 sixes, and he really took the bowlers on. Lazard Williams 1 for 71, the economy of 7.10 after his 10 overs. Not the best bowling figures from him. We've seen up and down performances from him throughout this series so far. It hasn't been consistent from him. Nande Berger was 2 for 64. Also, not a very good economy rate, but at least he's in the wickets again. He's shown us some signs of what he can do. I think that when he is with more lethal bowlers like Anrich Nokia, KG Rabada, etc., I think he'd work quite well with him. And with the pace of Gerald Coetzee as well, I think adding to the mix with Marco Jansen, I think that can be quite a formidable bowling options for South Africa when it comes to our paces. Bjorn Hendricks was quite good today as well again, 3 for 63. But like I said, they were very expensive, our bowlers. Vian Mulder was pretty economical. Keshaf was pretty economical today as well with 1 for 37. And Aiden Markham bowled pretty decently for 0 for 19 after 5 overs with a 3.8 economy. But there wasn't enough consistency in my eyes when it comes to these particular bowlers on today's wicket. I don't think they kept the lines and lengths consistent enough in the difficult areas. 296 for 8 is what India scored. And then South Africa went out to bat. And we got a decent start again from our openers. But Riza Hendricks again losing his wicket. Um, and not necessarily looking very comfortable at the crease again. Only 3 fours for his 19. Playing a couple of good shots, but then going out again when we needed him to stick around. And then comes out the most positive thing that I can take from this particular series, and that is Tony DeZorzi's 81. Oh, how we wish he could have gotten another 100. It would have been fantastic if he could, but lost his wicket at a crucial time in the game with South Africa on 161 of the 29.4 overs. The loss of quick wickets around him of Rassie van der Dussen again failing for 2 beautifully bowled, and Aiden Markram 141 for 3 after looking good again, getting his eye in again, and then losing his wicket before he could really convert was a shame. But then also from Klaasen and Miller, ultimately, not a good performance from both of them. Not sticking around when we need them in the chase and getting us close to the total and over the line. We only managed 218. Bjorn Hendricks was good at the end, uh, hitting 2 fours, 18 for 26. He was decent. But other than that, it was the Tony DeZorzi show again. And I think Tony DeZorzi is probably the only positive of the series. But I also would give it to Nandre Berger too. I think he was also pretty a positive light as well in the series. Today was the perfect opportunity, I said, for us to give a opportunity to Kyle Verreynne, a chance for Kyle Verreynne to play, because Kyle is someone that doesn't need to be eased in because he's already played quite a few ODIs. His average is very good in ODI cricket as well. It wouldn't be the same case as throwing in a debutant or someone that only has 2-3 games like we did with Tony DeZorzi. And I think that Carl, again, would have been suited to the situation with a couple of wickets have fallen, coming in a pressure situation, taking South Africa out of trouble is what he does best. So I was a bit disappointed that we didn't play Kyle Verreynne today. I would have liked to see him play. We know what Rassie, Heinrich, and David Miller have to offer. So why not try something new? I know the series was on the line, but in the end, we got dominated. So was it worth it in the end, is my question. So another chase, poor chase from South Africa. And it's very disappointing from a South African standpoint that the series had to end with another dominating victory by India. So 2-1 victory for India. Well done to India. Their bowlers were fantastic again and kept good lines and lengths. Ashdeep Singh was fantastic, 4 for 30. They just know how to adapt. These Indian bowlers just know how to adapt to conditions and how to keep consistency in games. They're just fantastic at doing that. And we really need to learn from them when it comes to that. It's something that is missing from South Africa's game. So let me get into the live chat and see what you guys have had to say. I'll start right at the top. Sam says, Khalid, how many times we will lose winning match? So sad. Rob really need to give some tough answers. Williams looks not international level. Miller, Klaas, and Aiden when they won the game. When last have they won the game? Our bowling is really one of the weakest of this team. So many extras, death bowling issue. No batters playing with responsibility. Rob Walter still makes excuses. I don't know who is bowling. Coach JP. Also, Wesley says, embarrassing performance. Gaurav says, this is B team of India against our main batting lineup. Muht says, or Maud says, how do I pronounce that? Maud Bakar. I can sense Was it Mo H? I don't know how to pronounce it. I can sense a test series defeat too. I'm feeling a little bit more positive about the test series. Aiden, you made me disappointed. And from what we've heard from the commentators today, there, and I've also heard some flutterings around about KG, that it's looking pretty positive for KG to come back. So let's see what happens and what the announcement will be. It's not looking very good for Lungingiri though. Gaurav says time for Mulder to be out. Mulder's been getting a lot of opportunities and not necessarily stepping up at international level quite yet. And we've all said that he should go back to domestic cricket and score runs. He went to county cricket, scored runs, and he went down back to the Lions and scored runs. But he just hasn't seemed to carry that form into this particular international setup. Wesley says we need a better players. That's what we need to work on. India can definitely win the test series, says Avint. Gaurav says Aiden needs to be dropped from ODI. Enough backing for someone who has played 60 games and averaged 35. I wouldn't agree with that because if you look at Aiden's last run, he's been very decent and very good for South Africa in ODIs and white ball cricket. When a person gets backing, you want to see him kick on and improve and play better. And Aiden has been pretty good in the white ball format for South Africa. Yes, he's had a couple of bad performances, but so does everybody. I wouldn't go as far as dropping Aiden Markram. I think that he's a crucial person to our batting setup. Think we're choosing to chase on purpose, so it clearly is something we have to work on, and rather now than later. I agree with you, Rizwana. Aiden did make a proper call on that this morning. I mean, this afternoon, saying that they wanted to put our test chasing to the test. So we got that from the team today, but we didn't get the chase that we wanted. But there's a massive positive from a Tony Dezorzi perspective. I have to give that guy so much props. He really batted excellently throughout the series. Um, Unlucky for that 28 choosing the incorrect shot, but in the last two games he's been excellent, and I want to see him get a prolonged run in ODI cricket now. What I learned that we choked again in this match. We were in a very comfortable position to win the match. We were in the perfect position, actually. We were settled. We looked good, particularly Tony and Aiden. And then something went wrong. Um, and we seemed to lose our way after that. One wicket falls and then a cluster of wickets fall. Seems to be a common trend now with the team. It's something that we need to improve and find the right balance. It's time now to start rebuilding this ODI squad, making sure that the next in line also get opportunities so that they are ready. Because if our players, senior players, fall off form, you want our next generation to come in and do what Tony Dezorzi does. So that's why I would have liked to see someone like Kyle get a chance, because those guys are sitting there in form, waiting and ready. He should have been rewarded for winning a trophy for the Western Province almost single-handedly in their first trophy in 8 years, hitting 100 in the final. I think that Kyle deserved to be rewarded for that performance. Lawrence says another chasing in pressure game and another defeat. Might not be our best side on paper, but we've seen his performances with our best players before. It's a systemic issue. It was a systematic issue. We just need batting first or match is over if we chase above 250. Aditya Singh says, Gaurav, no. I hope so. You watched the World Cup. While Rob has chosen is so poor bowling attack, apart from Nanda and Maharaj, Williams looks not international level bowler, and SA batters no, not any improvement from World Cup defeat. JP needs to step down as coach, says Sam. Gaurav says, look at his career stats. Simple. I know you have to look at his career stats, but he didn't have a great start to his career and he's kicked on since then. So you look at his latter half of his career rather, because what you'd want from a talented player like that is to go away, learn from the experience, improve his game, come back and perform. And he's done that for South Africa, I think. Had SA batted first, I think match would have been much closer. Macmillan says, why did Aiden choose to bowl in the hottest part of the day? A bat first pitch. And Aiden, Rassie, David, and Classy haven't done anything with a bat. When Klaasen and Miller will win the match for SA, Miller looked so poor, says Sam. Gaurav, please, it's a joke to drop him when he made 1,000 runs in ODI this year. Wesley says, please stop with the choking nonsense. India was just a better team, far too many passengers. Aruna says, we were able to chase in the last match because it was a small total as well as we were lucky. I don't know how lucky. Yeah, we were lucky, but batters get lucky. It's very seldom that I've seen hundreds or 50s from players where they didn't get some luck in the game. But for King says Mulder is not decent batter nor bowler, doesn't excel in either department, not an all-rounder, really just a fielder, says Buffer King. Amit says this team is a joke, so mediocre. Ahmed says we as fans get emotional. I understand your feelings, but try to understand Rob is not to be blamed. I think Rob needs more time, guys. We are too quick to want to see Rob leave. I don't think the sample size has been big enough. When we gave Boucher quite a bit of time before we started criticizing him and saying things, but also that was because there was a lot of contradictions in the press conferences. With Rob, he has actually said it just as it is. He's being pretty honest and open with exactly how the situation is. He hasn't really minced his words about it, and he's made it clear. But I do think now Rob needs to find a way to work on the next generational batters. He needs to try and find the next in line guys that are knocking on that door. I think we are okay in the bowling department. We have enough guys to work with. I really do believe that. I think now with Nandre Berger in the mix, I think he's added an extra bit of depth to our bowling attack. When Anich's fit again, KG, Lungi, um, we've got Marco, Gerald, Nandre. I think that's a great six. And then you still got your spinners into Bray Shamsi and Keshav Maharaj. That's 8 bowlers that you have available to you. And then your all-rounders, we need to work on that as well. Give more opportunities to more all-rounders. We missed the trick with not giving Mkhlani Mapungwana an opportunity. We can see that Rob is trying to favor international experience over here, giving the international guys that have international experience already a fair chance to prove themselves. But I think if it continuously goes this direction, I think Rob will make the change. And I think we will see more debuts given as the years go by now, leading up to the 2027 World Cup. And I hope that that is the case because that's what we need to do. So who's the better captain, Aiden or Temba, says Macmillan. I still back Temba a lot as a captain. I think Temba's decisions and on the field is really good in pressure situations. I think even in games that we've lost, when we've batted first and haven't put the runs on the board, I think Temba's management of the troops was really good to keep us fighting in the game with the ball. But what we do need as well is more consistency from our bowlers. There's nothing a captain can do about that when the bowlers are bowling so many wides and extras. and not hitting their consistent lines and lengths. Aiden has been playing like this always. He is experienced player. Till when will we say he is talented? Till when will we say he's talented? Okay. It's not about talent, but he's been also really good with the bat this last year. Markram said the wicket stayed the same. He didn't think the toss impacted the result. No, I don't think the toss really impacted the result from a conditions perspective. I think from a tiredness perhaps, and I think that the Indian bowlers are really good at adapting their lines and lengths and their game plan, and they learned from the way South Africa bowled, and they executed their plans superbly. That's the difference between South Africa and India. And these are really good bowlers. I know it's a second string team. People want to call it that, but I think these bowlers are really good. Um, I think Ashdeep Singh has been in great form in the IPL in the last few years and has proven his consistency in that tournament. Um, where the difference is those extras. India only conceded 13 extras, 10 wides, 2 no balls, and 1 leg by. South Africa, 22 extras, 15 wides, 1 no ball, 5 leg buys, and 1 bye. So that shows the difference in consistency between our bowling attacks. Shafaraz says Sean Pollock is correctly stated that Aiden tries too hard and not doesn't use his finesse. This is what is preventing him from making a big impact. Feel bad for the SA girl who was crying. You know what? I actually agree with Sean Pollock over there. Sometimes Aiden tries to hit the ball too hard. He needs to just play with his natural flair, um, and place the ball into the gaps and play with that his natural finesse game. Sometimes he does try to force the issue a bit too much, especially when the pressure gets on. Aruna says, I don't think Lazard is international level bowler, to be honest. Lawrence says, the toss was never an issue for me. It was a perfect opportunity for us to test our resolve when it comes to chasing. We cry when we don't chase. Well, at World Cups, yet we still cry when we're proactive. Um, we, I think it was the correct decision from a learning perspective to chase, but for a results perspective, I wouldn't have gone with the bowling first option in this heat. No man, Rob Walton needs to be blamed. Why is he not giving a chance to any players who is good? Why Williams, Andile, Mulder, Buren? Well, Buren wasn't too bad in the last 2 games. Sanjay, why SA chose to bowl first in the heat? It was very clear batting was easy in the first innings. Puffkin says Riza is also a passenger. Tony is miles ahead of him. I think it's too early to see that. Um, it's too early to judge that. Whereas says Riza is overrated in ODI cricket. Um, I wouldn't say that necessarily. I think he's been a little bit off form, uh, and he's deserved that bit of that spell because he's been in incredible form in white ball cricket over the last year. So at some point he needs to struggle a bit. Aiden is quite unlucky as a captain and batsman. Luck doesn't support him. Okay, it's not all about luck though. We need to bring our young batters. If we're gonna lose, then lose it with new batters. At least they will get experiences. Wakas, I've said this many times before about blooding in a new team, but I don't want to see us just throw a whole lineup top 6 of youngsters. I want to see a blend happen slowly over a series. So for perhaps you try a number three for one series. Now we tried an opener now for the series. The next series we play, try number three or number four, try number six, and blend them in with some of the other experienced guys so that they can bounce off each other and learn from each other. Vian Mulder, by the way, this guy ain't it, says Lawrence. Sanjay says Riza can't play the moving ball. His feet goes nowhere. In flat pitches looks good, especially in T20 eyes. Safa says only positive that came from the series for SA was Tony's rise and emergence of Berger and Hendricks as a reliable pace attack. Klaassen, Aiden, and Miller really disappointing big times to Safaras. I hope that they're ready for the test series. Well, Aiden is ready for the test series. Aditya Singh says Milan should be back with Tony De as opener. Aiden should play one down for the sake of SA cricket. Milan needs to go score runs domestically first. SMS Bavum today he had a great year in ODI cricket in SA this year. Wesley says Blitz's Riza should not be dropped. Sadiq, he deserves to have a patch of form that is a little bit wonky. I mean, he's performed really well throughout the year, so I think he deserves that opportunity to maybe have a little bit of a bad spell. Sadiq Khalid, why do we discuss these things here on the show? Proteas and their Why do we discuss these things here on the show? Proteas and their management don't care. We have lost to Indian team. We had only two players from World Cup team. We were full strength on batting side. We discuss it because we have an opportunity to rant and rave with each other and really express our views. Who says that our views are right though? So we are just here to voice our opinion on how we're feeling and try to get some sense of togetherness over here in difficult times. It's nice to go through these type of situations with people who are all feeling the same. We're all feeling emotional, upset, and etc. And it's good to go through those things together. That's why we have built this community. So that's why we speak about things on the show. I mean, I didn't need to explain it, but I thought might as well. No, Rassi, Klaas, and Miller. Lawrence says, yeah, drop Riza. Macmillan says Verena and Michlali not being given a chance was idiotic. Mulder, Klaassen should have made a way. I agree with you that both of those players should have been given opportunity. Ayanda says should have selected Stubbs and Rickleton in my opinion. Safara says why was Andila not included in the team? We would have done better job with Bat than Vian. Because Andila got injured. Right side strain, I think. Sarah says maybe Brevers opens with Tony. I prefer Brevers as a number 3 or number 4 batter. I know he can open and I know he's done well opening in certain games, but I like him as a 3. What crime did Janaman Malan commit to be ignored this much? The lad was so good. He went back to domestic cricket and he didn't perform. He's also had a bit of a problem against spin. I always say that it seems like he's found a way to survive against spin and not dominate spin yet. He's still working on certain aspects of his game, I feel, but he hasn't really settled in well at Boland and he hasn't put on the runs there. And based on what Rob Walter has been doing, he's been giving opportunities to guys that have been either have international experience first, even if they're young, and then giving opportunities to guys that are performing and in form in the domestic circuit. Urana says Tony getting out on a half volley. What was that shot from him need to be answered for? Happens in cricket sometimes. He batted well though. I mean, to score 100 and then follow it up with 80. It's brilliant. Pavuma is useless with an average of 45. Hendricks is brilliant with an average of 28. That's the logic. I don't think we're looking at Riza Hendricks' overall stats here in the beginning of his career, I think the reason why people want him in the team is because of the way he's improved over the last 2 years. He's he has been in incredible form, and I think that was the reason why they want Riza. I still believe that Bavuma has a spot in this ODI team, though. I've never called for Bavuma's head. I read out your comments and I understand some of your views, and I'll read it out here. I don't have to agree with all of them to share it with everybody. And my opinion isn't gospel. So it's just my opinion at the end of the day and my thoughts or my observation. And I believe that Timba is the right man at the moment for South Africa in that opening position. And I think him and Tony or him and Riza should have a go together and see what they can do together as a pair. Um, for me, Tony deserves an extended run now. Um, it's always been a case of switching between Bavuma and Temba. And this is why, because Riza's not going to perform every single game. There's going to be times where he's going to be off form. And you're going to have to choose between him and Temba. I would go with Aiden as the captain, considering he's younger and we can mold him for the next World Cup in 2027. Sadiq says, we need to be honest. Riza of T20s is a different player than Riza of ODIs. He is a leapfrogged by Dezozu who looked hungry for runs. Riza is not meant for ODIs, says Saranth. Miller and Klassen should be dropped instead of Riza, says Blitz. Safra says it's embarrassing for SA to lose to a team that had one World Cup member. There's a few psychosis within the team regarding chasing, and that has to be addressed by JP Dumini. And he does have to address our chasing ability. Malin Klassen looked completely out of sorts. Klassen chasing is another tail ender, says Korav. Wow. Lawrence says the energy when it comes to the likes of Riza and Rasi not scoring runs is wild, similar to when Timber doesn't get runs. The hypocrisy, laugh out loud. Yeah, we'll always get that. The Zoys is the only positive in the series. I've said that plenty of times on the show, yes. Waka say JP Dubin, Sam says JP Dubin not giving batters any suggestions against their weaknesses. Need to sign new batting and bowling coach for SA. Better Australian coaches. I wish we could afford Australian coaches, to be honest. Wakas George says Brewer, Stubbs, Calvarena, Donovan Ferreira should play next test series. Next series. Sam Miller always disappointed in much win games. Batters have a technical fault. JP hasn't done much. Hasn't had long with the team either. So we need to be fair with everybody and give them some time to work with the team and implement their ideas. So Dick says we didn't get anything from playing Rassi, Miller, and Klaassen. And that was my thing. They've come off the World Cup. We've seen what they can do. Why not just why not give another person an opportunity just for one game? SA17 says Calvin should have played in place of Rassi today. What's the point of selecting a player for a series and not playing him? Another blunder from SA selectors. Same mistake made again and again. Marwan says, Khalid, does the captain make the decision to bat or bowl first when winning the toss? Or is the decision made by the coaching staff? They would decide it before the game. So they'll look at the wicket and discuss amongst themselves what do you think this wicket will do, what do you think we're going to do here, and then the captain makes the decision at the toss. But ultimately, they do decide together. They do make a decision beforehand on what they think it's like. But sometimes there can be instances where the wicket has changed or something has changed, and a captain will have to make a decision in that moment. But Generally speaking, it's the leadership group that will make a decision. Basically, the coaches and the captain. I'm sure they'll probably get some input from the players as well, because they get to look at the wicket before the game. Aditya says Malan is the future, should be backed. Please try to understand Kelly. Pavuma and Riza are 34 years of age. If they're still performing, though, age doesn't matter, in my opinion. But we need to take age into consideration when we're preparing, though, for the future. That's definitely something that we must do. Bailey says, Harley, so when are we going to call out Rob for not really giving others a go? This is what we blame Boucher for doing. I keeping selecting the tried and tested. We've seen the same with Rob for a while. I don't necessarily agree because we've seen quite a few debutants under Rob Walter. We've seen a lot of guys come through. I think he's doing it gradually. I don't think he's I don't think his approach is to throw a whole lot of new guys into one team. I think he's kind of doing it gradually, and giving players a chance to settle. Um, so I think we need to wait a full year of him being in charge, basically, for us to really start going. And if this continues, then we can maybe say stuff. Kelly says improving slightly this season, but last season was a tough one for Yanaman. Anna says when we will adapt like Indian. Klaassen has lost form since SA17 since the World Cup, just throwing his wicket away casually as wicket keeping started to affect his batting. Oh, it's an interesting point. Would be interesting to know from him. Wesley says, here's a stat for you. The Zorzi's 81 is 1 run less than Mulder's total run scored in ODI cricket. Sadiq says, amazing really that we struggled so much at death bowling for years and there's no answer. Eric did well with the bowlers at the World Cup, but he isn't with the team now. Who is bowling coach? Anybody knows? I'm not sure who the bowling coach is. SS17 says Bayes Wonderful should be picked as all round in future. He is way better than Mulder. And I think we'll gradually start to work players into the system and into the team. It will gradually start happening. Otto says, first of all, both Aiden and Rob failed to read the pitch. It was a bad first wicket. It definitely was. But based on what they said before the game, they said they wanted to put their chasing to the test. So under pressure. So they did that, but they failed again. So they need to find a way on how to fix that. Macmillan says, come on, guys, it's Christmas period. All the players had Babalas. Just only Josie has the Herschel Gibbs Babalas ability and scores runs like 438 kb 2006. Wesley, Khalid with Rassi being 34 and seemingly in decline, and number 3 being such an important position. Would it be grooming? Should we be grooming a number 3 after Champions Trophy? Brevis sticks out. Brevis sticks out to me too. Another option is Tony at 3, eh? It's also a possibility. We could have Tony at 3. Riza and Temba opening and then Tony at 3 is also another possibility. But I would like to see a young guy like Brevis get an opportunity. Lorenzo, people on this platform during the World Cup said Riza will get his extended run after the World Cup when he went to the Cocktails, which was their defense for not dropping Temba. But now they want Riza dropped after 3 games. Yeah, exactly. Let's be equal in our conversation. Riza was due a bad patch of form. Give him an extended run. Otto says Rob is well and truly a fraud watch. I don't agree. I don't think we've seen enough of him to say that. I think he's still familiarizing himself with all the players. Lorenzo says if Boucher was the coach today, we would have been ridiculed him by mainstream media. He probably would be. Is mainstream media not? I haven't really looked at the mainstream media's comments really. I wonder, have they not been ridiculing Rob? I guess Rob. Yeah. I I think they maybe just like the way Rob talks. Matt92, the batting is a problem. Rusty Klassen should have done better. Gaurav says Aiden is reactive, captain, not proactive. Kelly says there was some silly batting, loss of momentum. Yeah, that's been happening quite a bit. Richa says Kelly, match turn from that Aiden silky shot. Yeah. Aiden won his 20 as captain with decent team, not superstar team. Aiden's Aiden's good. Um, Lorenzo says if Riza gets dropped the next series, then we all know, although you will play when Quinton Cock retires, was just BS. Give him 2 full seasons like they gave Aiden Markham when he struggled. This BS needs to be called out. I've already mentioned it. Plus, his Riza won't get dropped. He came. The problem, he came onto the scene late. I don't know what else you were saying there. Lorenzo said Aiden averaged in the low 20s for 3 years and still was backed, which is great, but then you must do the same with Riza, especially with the CSA did to him. That's the least they can do. Now, by no means do I think Riza should be dropped. And I know people are showing, I'm saying his age, but I think this team can build up to the Champions Trophy. And then after the Champions Trophy, if we see a similar performance, I think then we need to think hard and start giving people opportunities. But I would like to see players get opportunities now already. Rotate it a bit, Being that age that they are, rotate them a little bit. So now all of a sudden, Tony DeZorzi is the new flavor of the month. These fans never learn. One bad series for Tony, and people will call for him to be dropped. That's the thing. We need to be fair with everybody. Give people a chance. Cricket, you fail more than you succeed. It's just the way it is. Have go out there, play the game, let them develop, let them learn, give them extended runs, build a team, build an ethos, give some youngsters a player. There needs to be a balance. Kelly says Riza, when informed, can do it. Granted that it is if he can get his feet moving and doesn't play with those closed face. I don't understand the Milan agenda. Otto says to all those he's hyping Tony to be the replacement of Conor de Kock. Don't forget that Janaman had a similar start to his ODI career, even better, to be honest, and now he is nowhere to be seen. I don't think it's about replacing Quinton de Kock here. We should stop looking at this like this. Don't comparing players like that. Tony DeZorzi's had a good start to his ODI career right now, and we need to give him more opportunities and let's see how he develops. But I think we need to have youngsters lined up behind this group of players, knocking on the door, ready to play. Lorenzo says, I don't care about age. Look at Riza. The guy's fit and never injured. Looks like he's in his 20s. This age thing is just a cop out. I think modern day sport has proven that. We could maybe understand that in the past when people's diets weren't the same and the sports science wasn't the same. But modern day sport has proven that age is just a number. I've changed my mentality on this a lot over the years. Macmillan says we need to bring Amla back. Matt says, I like the look of Tony DeZorzi. Get Stubbs in place of Rassi and bat him at 4 while Aiden bats at 3. That's also another good option I would like to see. I would like Stubbs higher up in the order, particularly in ODI cricket. Let me just get your final comments here at the bottom, guys. If there are any that are aimed at me, because you guys are having your own conversation as well in the chat. Um, Macmillan says, "Okay, guys, enough moaning. Where are we going out for techie, techie squeaking?" uh, Kanye says most of our players are nearing mid 30s and we still don't give a chance to youngsters. Same thing happened when JP, AB, Faf, Amla, Stein, Morkel, and Finlanda retired at the same time. I don't know. It's not true, really. We have been giving opportunities to youngsters. Maybe not the right ones at the time, but we've been giving people a chance. Gerald Coetzee, Marco Janssen, Vian Mulder, Tony Rizorzi, Kyle Verena. We have given opportunities to the younger guys. Deva Breva's got an opportunity, I think, in T20s already. So we have given opportunities to younger guys. We just want to see more opportunities given to the guys, particularly when they do well as well. I mean, Brevis has played 2 T20 matches already, but I would like to see him in this format. Bedingham opening or at 3 would be a good option. Done well for VP in One Day Cup and for Durham in White Ball Comp. I believe he can play in this format. Definitely can. Beddingham's also a good shout for that position. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, click that notification bell for all future videos. Also, subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. Magnificent. Thanks, Khalid, for this platform to share our views in this community. You're welcome, bro. Thank you for that comment. I want this community to grow, so please, guys, share it with all your friends and family. We're trying to reach that 5K spot. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace out.